Let's bring in BuzzFeed president John Steinberg. He's in New York. John, you guys have a pretty good read on what the teens are up to. Are they experiencing Facebook fatigue?
Well, John, millennials is our biggest audience at BuzzFeed. We have about 40 to 45 million monthly unique visitors. 60% of them are millennials, 18 to 34. The Wall Street flavor of these reports is typically very anecdotal in my view. I mean, this is a survey of 5,000 people, but I think it's a narrative that just provides something interesting for people to say. When we look at the numbers that come out every quarter, the engagement rates are at an all-time high. Facebook doesn't specifically break out teens, but I just think this is a bit anecdotal for my taste.
Well, give me something anecdotal from where you sit. I mean, you talk to a lot of marketers. Are a lot of them saying, I'm more interested now in, I don't know, Snapchat or Twitter, for that matter?
I think people want to experiment with new platforms. Twitter is definitely, vital and important to marketers right now, as is YouTube. I mean, what's interesting in that report is that we're seeing that millennials still consider Facebook to be their largest social network, but YouTube ranks number 2. And we are seeing marketers wanting to spend a lot of emphasis on YouTube as well to get branded content in front of millennials. So what I would say is there's definitely competition in social. We are seeing it from Twitter. We are seeing it from YouTube. And Snapchat was mentioned as a write-in by these millennials as one of their favorite social networks. But, we're not seeing anything crazy happen right now.
So Facebook just announced Facebook Home, which is not a Facebook phone, but it's this layer of software that goes on top of certain Android devices. You guys have an app on Android devices, which basically gets a little moved to the side if people are using Facebook Home, but you don't mind.
We don't mind, John. We're agnostic about the railroad tracks. We're agnostic about the cable network. For us, if people are using more Facebook, that means people will be sharing more BuzzFeed content because the newsfeed is so vital to us as distribution. So we're excited about Facebook Home. The more people are engaged with social, it means the more they'll be sharing and engaging with our editorial content and our branded content. So I think it could be a net win for us.
Let's talk about some of the buzzable stories. A lot of people have been talking about Bitcoin on Wall Street and in Silicon Valley. Give us your take on the tech angle of this virtual currency story.
Techies absolutely love Bitcoin, especially libertarian techies that like to think about doing something that's outside of government. Bitcoin is a $1 billion market right now. We had an interview on the site by John Herman, who leads our tech coverage, with someone who lives completely off of Bitcoin, a developer who pays for his servers and pays for his life and pays for his consultants that way. It's had a wild ride. It broke 200 earlier in the week. I think it's trading at about $70 now. So it's a bit scary and it's very speculative, but Silicon Valley VCs are moving into this right now. At $1 billion, it's a real currency market.
Also wanted to mention that in your business, you guys are now doing do-it-yourself stuff. You mentioned how important Facebook is to BuzzFeed, but you get a lot of traffic from Pinterest.
John, this is going to blow you away. We are getting 40% more traffic from Pinterest than Twitter across all of BuzzFeed right now because the do-it-yourself content. Stuff that we create that's about kind of refurbishing things, using stuff in new different ways. Our editor who really leads us up, Peggy Wang, is doing an unbelievable job of collecting all different kinds of materials, very graphic heavy. Each individual image within a BuzzFeed post on our do-it-yourself content can be individually shared to Pinterest, and that drives back massive amounts of traffic to the original post. And marketers that are in do-it-yourself or home goods or in furniture, this is a major opportunity for them.
All right, the power of pictures. John, thanks as always.
Thank you, John
Steinberg of BuzzFeed president joining us from New York. Emily, back to you.
Thanks, John. Make sure to